So you've got 500 bucks, which is a sizable amount of money. And as many times as idiots online might tell you it's not, it is. And you want to try to grow that $500 as best possible in NFTs. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can do that with two key strategies I would potentially use if I had $500 and was trying to grow it into a higher amount. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is understand our limitations, because while $500 is a lot of money, it's not 10,000. And the reason why this is something important is because $500 goes a little less far in the NFT world than you might think. So our goal in this video is going to be taking that $500 and being as minimalistic with it as possible, using it as sparingly as possible to try to make the most amount of profit. So how can we get the most amount of bang for our buck? So first things first, we have to find a chain to use. Now, the most popular chains right now are Ethereum, Solana, and a few others. Now, the problem with Ethereum, of course, Ethereum being extremely popular and extremely high reward for those that make the right investment, the problem with Ethereum is that it is simply too expensive, in my opinion, to grow $500 with, because a lot of times the gas fee for Ethereum will be more than $500. So if you bought an NFT and are looking to sell it on OpenSea, you'll have to spend more than $500 just to sell it, which is absolutely bonkers. Ethereum has been extremely congested recently, but that's why I would not recommend Ethereum for this task. Now, the next idea that I have for you guys is potentially Solana. Now, Solana is a little bit less expensive. In fact, a lot of it less expensive. You guys can see an exchange like Solana here will only charge you a fraction of a cent to sell something or make a transaction on their website. That's still a good idea, yet Solana, unfortunately, is still like $140-ish per coin, which is still a lot of money. If you're trying to buy an NFT, you'll only have around 3 or 4 Solana to work with. Now, the other option is doing something weird, like maybe using Tezos or some other chain out there that isn't quite as popular. You could go on here and buy a ton of Tezos NFTs over on objkt.com. You guys could do this, and you could take a risk and you could potentially make some money with these, but the problem with this plan is that unfortunately Tezos isn't really established as an NFT platform yet. So whether you're trying to buy a Cardano NFT, a Tezos NFT, or some other chain, the issue is that these don't have the stature that Ethereum and Solana have. So what do you do? When you look at this, you have to try to take the best cost to sort of risk reward you possibly can. How can you spend the least amount of money and potentially get the most amount of reward? And to be honest with you, I think the best thing you guys could do is to chase new Solana mints, because Solana, like I said, ultimately is still the best of both worlds. It's not nearly as expensive as Ethereum, not even close, and it still has the stature and the credibility to be able to have some projects that can substantially grow and make you a profit in a short period of time. Now, if you guys would like access to some of the latest and greatest Solana mints that I am personally interested in, make sure to check out my Patreon, linked down below in the description. On there in Matt's NFT Dojo, I mention a ton of NFTs that I am interested in purchasing, including an exclusive NFT watch list for those that are interested in checking out the Patreon down below in the description. Okay, so now that you've decided that Solana is your chain, or at least if you've decided that, you could do this for Tezos or Ethereum as well. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys the best option here, but if you decide on Solana or any other exchange out there, these principles kind of work the same. What you guys are going to want to do is go onto your platform. Of course, this is Solana. You could use Alpha Art or Magic Eden. There are a lot of different platforms out there, but ideally what you guys want to be chasing is some of these, any of the new projects that are coming out. Now, the issue with these is that unfortunately, none of these platforms really have the quality control that they used to. Solana in the past would have 6 projects here, and all 6 of them would pretty much go up. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't always happen. So how can we find a project that is going to go up in price without having to worry about potentially losing the amount of money we spend on our mint? So what I'm always looking for is something very simple, and that is, of course, social media presence. I think that's probably the easiest thing you guys can do. Let's take a look here at Alpha Gorilla. This is something I have talked about in some previous videos, but again, these guys have what looks to be a pretty good social media presence. They have already some models designed for their game, and of course, they actually have a trailer which has already been designed and looks to be, quite good upon release. So definitely look for NFT projects that have something going for them already. Ones that have an advanced, long roadmap that, has no information about it. Sometimes that's okay. But if you only have $500, you want something that is a guarantee that is going to release quickly and hopefully make you your first flip to have more money to reinvest. Because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a few small wins in hopes of taking that money and reinvesting it. So let's say you bought Alpha Gorillas at mint, and let's say the mint for Alpha Gorillas was pretty cheap. Let's say it was like 1 Solana, and I don't even know if they mentioned, I don't even think they have the price right now, but let's say you bought something like this. It was 1 Solana to mint. What do? Well, ideally, you would go to something like Solana and you would try to find how the floor is going to move. So a great way to do this is to check the statistics page here of Solana or any other exchange out there, and definitely do be looking for increases in average price. That's a great way to know when the community is sort of gravitating towards these things again. Definitely look for volume. We want to be seeing an increase in volume as best possible. And of course, the floor price. That's the most important. So again, if you have $500, don't take an NFT and hold into the ground and hold for a year. That's not ideal, because in the end, it could eventually go down to zero and be worth nothing. We want to take our $500 and grow it as best possible to be able to reinvest some of it into new mints and new projects. So definitely do be looking at the floor price on things like this, because ultimately, if you could find something that has doubled or tripled in floor price, even if it's gone from, say, 1 Solana to 2 Solana or 2 Solana to 3 Solana, that is still a reasonable enough flip to justify selling it. Now, remember, guys, your fees on Solana are extremely low. I think the platform takes like 5%. So ultimately, if you bought something for 2 Solana at mint and sold it for 3, you would still keep around 0.95 Solana, which is somewhere around 120, 130 bucks. That is still extremely good, and now you're investing with $600 something instead of $500. So that is kind of the thought process you want to have when you're trying to grow your initial investment of $500. Again, this would change if you had, say, $5,000. You could be a little bit more ambitious with some of these purchases, but not only that, you could hold on to some of these projects for a little bit longer. But with a smaller budget, you definitely want to take these and try to grow them as best possible in a short period of time. Flip them, use that money, and reinvest. So with that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, check out the Patreon down below in the description if you guys would like some more help with NFTs. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Matt. See you all in the next video. Peace.